So ever since I started this truck project that's behind me here, I knew I had to build a rear bumper. A long time ago, when I used to still drive this truck, I built myself a front bumper. And the plan was to make something that looked similar, but it couldn't quite exactly be the same for a whole bunch of different reasons. Anyway, I'll show you what I made. Sounds like something that's interesting to you? Stick around. Now this is the bumper that I built originally. It's quite a bit deeper than the one we're going to build for the back, but when I built it, this truck actually had 3-inch body lift on it, and I kind of built the bumper to match the body lift, so that's why that ended up like that. But this is kind of the bare basis of what my back bumper is going to look like, with a few little tweaks and differences. So these are the brackets that are going to come off the frame. I actually cut them as close as I could to the same size, welded them together on the ends, and ground them so they wouldn't really bother me. And I'm just going to make the two brackets as one in an effort to get them as close to exactly the same thing as I possibly can. I've done it this way in the past and it works really well. So there they are, cut apart. You can see those holes are pretty much dead nuts. That's probably as good as it's going to get for hillbilly fabrication like I do. So those first pieces are bolted on, and what I did is I just grabbed a cut off end of the piece that I did for the horizontal pieces, and I tacked it on here, and that was basically like my cheater plate. If you could see by that line, I cheated this side up just a little wee bit to get the top of the bumper to match with the tailgate. Now the big thing I find when I'm building something like this, I don't really use a level unless you've got the whole frame of the vehicle leveled out and plumbed and everything, and then yeah, level's a good thing. But realistically, what I find is you just gotta get it to match what's there. If it lines up with all the body lines and the tailgate and everything that's there, that's going to be the way it's going to look the best. And now we're just kind of building it together the way we think it wants to look. We made sure that we had room for the tailgate to clear, and now we're just going to build in that center section before we build the two outsides. So I need to duplicate this angle in the back bumper, and I decided I'd just take this tailgate hinge, hold it up there. There, now I've got the angle that I need. So right here, I've got this put in place where I need, and I'm just gonna mark my angle with the Sharpie. My genius never ceases to amaze me. And because I want the top piece to stay nice and flat, I just took one piece that I was still fairly close to full length and tacked it across there, so when I put the outside parts on, everything on top is nice and level. So there it is, all tacked up. I don't know how easily this is going to be, you can see this, but basically from the frame to the outside, it tapers back from 4-inch to about just over 2-inch, and at the bottom it's got that bevel down, same angle as the front, so hopefully that's going to turn out and look real good. Now I've obviously got to clean up and cut these end plates to fit properly and do a whole bunch of finish welding, but the key is I wanted to make sure that I got everything tacked up because I'm almost out of gas. So this way I can pop it off, finish weld as much as I can, and I'm really happy with this project. It's turned out super nice in my books. Well, that's as far as I can go for now until I get some more welding gas. I more or less, when I was welding the outside of it, I knew that I had the plan to grind that flat. So that is, it's going to hold what it's going to hold, but I'm going to weld everything from the back side as well. Now that's where I ran into the problem with no gas. So I decided to dress these up as good as I could. I've still got a couple more of the outside welds that I've got to do. You probably maybe noticed that as I was panning around it. But I really think this thing looks pretty good. And I'm looking forward to final welding it, getting it coated, and getting it back on the truck to show you guys exactly how it's going to look. Now with these ends, what I did is I had this piece, and this piece there. And I just put a big honking chunk in there and fit everything else up and then cut that end cap to fit. Now, I spend too much time watching a YouTube guy named Fitzy's Fabrications. The guy is amazing. The stuff that he makes and just the way his brain works in regards to fabrication and sheet metal repair just blows me away. And honestly, watching him helped me so much building this bumper. If you get a chance, check him out. His stuff is nothing short of amazing. Now below this bumper, like right here, between the two frame rail portions, I'm actually going to put a piece of 2x2 heavy wall tubing, and I'm going to be able to mount a receiver hitch to that. I know this isn't really going to be much of a trailer rig, but you know what? Sometimes the guy just needs one, so I'm gonna put one on there. I think it should work out real good. Well, I got my last few pieces cut, and as soon as I get some welding gas, I'll be able to get this all fitted in. Man, you really gotta like your kid to spend this much time just building a dang bumper. So I was trying to use up the scraps that I had, and they weren't really quite perfect. So I ended up with a couple pretty healthy gaps like that. Now, what do you do to try and fill that up? Well, I don't know what people that know what they're doing do, but this is what I did. I just stuffed a piece in there and welded her up both sides, and I'm just going to cut her off and grind her down and going to call that filled up. Well, I got the ends fitted in, and everything's pretty good. Not a whole lot of warpage anywhere or anything like that. So let's finish weld her up and hopefully be done with this thing someday. It looks pretty good. I just smoothed out, softened up the corners a little bit, and got everything finished welded and ground. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. All I got to do is, for now, I'm going to throw a coat of rust paint on this. And when I get my crap together, I'm actually going to do some bed liner on this one to match the front bumper. And I've got a few other things that I've got to do up with that too. So that'll come a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to paint her black and put her back. Back bumper done. Got the license plate mounted on there semi-properly for the first time since we've been driving this truck. I feel a whole lot safer about the boy driving around with this thing. I was just dreaming nightmares at night thinking about this thing getting rear-ended in that beautiful 6.5 foot box that's super tough to come by, just getting all crumpled up on the street. So this was no way a step-by-step tutorial on how to build a bumper, because I'm not a fabricator. I just figure things out as I go. But I thought I could just keep tabs on what I was doing, share a couple of the neat little tips and tricks that I figured out or whatnot on the way. And hopefully you guys got something out of this. So thanks for watching.